Greetings, this is Linda Asimone Ella of the Living Woman. Today we want to talk about motherhood and childcare during COVID-19 period. That's our interest today, and of course motherhood and childcare is such a wide topic. However, we're going to limit ourselves to our role as mothers within the home during the COVID period, but specifically as it regards kids, the older children in the home, some tips about the kitchen, and finally creating a general ambience of peace and harmony in the home. So to begin with our kids, we must admit that it has been a challenging process trying to get our kids to stay in one place to study, create a schedule for them. It's been a challenge, but it's possible that we can use this period as an additional time in our lives, in our journey with our children, where we are spending more time with them. Yes, we need to consciously spend more time with the children, both dad and mom. Not only mom, both dad and mom need to spend more time with the children. We can keep them busy with house chores. This is a time where both the boy child and the girl child need to learn house chores. They can learn to keep their room and the sitting room in order. When it's scattered, they should be able to say, oh, this place is scattered, let me take care of it. Mommy is in the kitchen, or daddy is in the kitchen, let me go and help out with washing of plates, cutting of onions, cleaning the kitchen, sweeping. They need to be learning house chores at this time, and not just the girl child being available with dad, but also the boy child. He mustn't be left out there playing football, watching Arsenal and Manchester and the rest, and the girl is left only doing the work. Every child in the house, everybody in the house needs to be helping out with the house chores. So still on kids, and kids here we have in mind the really younger ones in the family. Yes. Then also acquisition of skills. It's been interesting to know that some children as young as 11, 12, 13 are learning sewing, learning other skills within this period. So depending on the inclination of your child, make it a point to help them acquire some skills within this time. We also are realizing that sometimes and during this period they are getting addicted to electronics, to the television, to our phones, to laptops, to the different apps, different games that are there. So we can't allow this to happen. Mothers and fathers need to stamp their feet on the ground, make sure that there is a balance. And really, in my own case, at some point I said no TV, no electronics. We really have to have a balance, and you really have to spend time studying in order to show that you want to keep using these materials, these resources. So we must be careful that we do not allow the children get addicted to electronics. Is it to television, to listening to the radio programs that is there, to apps, telephone, cell phone rather, the different apps in the cell phones, and just electronics generally, because through the internet they are exposed. And if you allow children to just have their way, they will spend so much time on these electronics, on these gadgets, and they will not have time to dedicate to their study. Then moving on to, we can take time to play games with our children. Like in my own home, I have agreed with my kids that every Sunday we will dedicate an hour to play some board game, have some real game hour together as a family. So it's important because they learn skills. They learn one thing or the other from these games. Even just that collaboration, teamwork, they learn it from these games. Then you can talk about anything that helps to keep their memory sharp, like the Scrabble game is good for that. And when they ask you questions about issues, don't be so quick to give an answer. Give them an opportunity to think about their question, to think about the possible solutions, the possible answers to their questions. So it keeps them thinking. You even help them believe in themselves that they too can think out solutions to their problems. The other thing you could do, if you can, is to monetize chores, monetize study. I tell you, I had a challenge up to the extent I now decided that any child who reads a certain number of pages will be paid a certain amount of money. Or if you're helping out consistently with your house chores, with your assigned duties, you will also be paid something. And I tell you, that has really helped a lot in motivating the children to study. So you can do that if that works for you, if that is suitable to your pockets. Then also you can help the children understand that school is now at home. It's now home school, and when you sit down to study, sit down with the mind that this is now the school I have, and I need to learn something for myself. So with that understanding, they will know that it's not just play, but they need to also dedicate every day some hours for study. Then you can reward your children with something they like when they behave well or when they do something well. That will certainly motivate them. Then moving on to older children, teenagers, adolescents, and young adults in our homes. I would encourage you to have some talk time individually with them. You also need to keep in mind that a lot of how this group of words behave or conduct themselves, a lot of how they behave or conduct themselves has to do with the orientation they already have received earlier as they grew up. And that is why when we do not start early, these are the age groups or the age grades when we really get to struggle to keep them straight or keep them on the right path. So if you have been, or if they have been under your care all the while, then you need to be patient and continue to guide them, because you have been part of their journey and you are still part of that journey. So we will need your patience here. And here again, just to remind, I'm talking about the older children, the teenagers, the adolescents, the young adults who live in your home. They can really have their issues, but remember to be firm, be loving, but at the same time you cannot keep condoning unhealthy behaviors like not helping out in the house, going out and coming in at will without informing you, or really just that respect for the home. Not supporting and directing the younger ones with good examples, and so many other kind of behaviors we can find with this group of the members of the home. But again, as mother of the house, remember to keep your sanity, because some of the things that these older children or older ones would do can really drive one crazy. But in the midst of correcting, guiding, directing, instructing, listening, remember to maintain a calm disposition and not constant anger and shouting and picking on faults, because that would help nobody. So listen and accept corrections too, because we too as parents, we also need to listen and accept corrections when need be. So be able to say I'm sorry even to your 2-year-old, 3, 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 25-year-old member of your household. Yes, I'm sorry when you realize you have said or done something that even you know that it's not okay. But then still maintain your position of authority in humility, in love, and in care. Then we want to move on to home care in terms of the kitchen. Many of us are working mothers, career women, business women, and with side hustle that keep us on our feet. Yet, we still have to care for the kitchen. So when we talk of the kitchen, we're talking about time, we're talking about energy, finances, and these are the resources that really are expended with regards to the kitchen. First, to begin with time, let others in the home assist you in the kitchen so that you spend less time there. If there are older children who can assist with cooking or with kitchen chores, or if you have a cook, then let them assist you as much as you feel comfortable to leave to them, because some women have a rule to prepare the food for their husbands, so nobody else does that. But for some others it may not be the case. So whatever the case, do get some support in the kitchen to save on the length of time you spend in the kitchen. Keep an orderly and neat kitchen to help you do your work and to cook faster. Secondly, apart from time, we're talking about energy. Yes, being in the kitchen takes energy, and though this is easily taken for granted even by house members, but a woman who works all day and still has to come home and prepare supper for the entire household understands and appreciates the energy she needs to get that done. So get help and reduce your fatigue at the end of the day. Then finances, you need finances to run the kitchen. Money is what makes the kitchen functional. This is a particularly trying time for mothers who run the kitchen. Some of us have learned how to use minimal finances to prepare something good enough for the family to consume. You do not have to cook lavishly like so and so if you do not have such resources within your available resources, and with the understanding of your household, you can still have good, healthy, and balanced meal from your kitchen. So just a few tips to add to what you're already doing regarding managing finances for your kitchen. First, if you can and where you have the opportunity, plant vegetables around your home or some space that, no matter how small space you have, do something. Personally, I do not remember the last time I bought specific vegetables from the market. So you too can do what you can if you have the space and the opportunity. Secondly, get to know variety of meals and different ways they can be prepared. Sometimes it helps you even spend less when you know that a certain meal can be prepared in a certain way, rather than getting so fixated it must have this and this and this and this. Using our Nigerian context, for example, there are several soups, meals you can prepare with little amounts of money. And of course, when it comes to talking about amounts of money, it's relative. What is little for you might not be little for someone else. So it's relative, but just to get the idea that you can prepare something with less amount of money than maybe you usually do. So talk with your female friends, share your knowledge, check out varieties of simple soups, vegetables, of meals on YouTube. I have a WhatsApp group where we share recipes on various simple and healthy meals that the family can take. So you can contact me on the number on the screen if you want to join that group. Then thirdly, prioritize what you spend money on. Have some criteria. First, what is healthy? Prioritize natural foods, include fruits and vegetables as a way to raise the immunity of the family and as a way of contributing to the balanced diet. What can you really do without? There are certain things you can do without, so you don't have to buy each and everything. Then also avoid excesses. For example, for a single meal, how many or how much protein do you really need? How much protein does the body need for each meal? So for example, a Nigerian pot of soup, you could decide to use one type of protein, or you use up to 3 or 4 or 5 varieties of protein in a pot of soup. So those are the things you could look at and see. prioritize what you spend your money on and how you spend the money. So those are just a few tips to help you in terms of managing finances in the kitchen. Then finally, as mothers in the home during this COVID period, certainly again, creating a general ambience of peace and harmony in the home is something we must do. And the woman in the home is very central to this. All in all, it begins with you yourself keeping your sanity. Let peace and harmony reign in the home. Because as the woman, you are very central to the kind of ambience or environment or atmosphere that exists in a home. This does not mean that you are supposed to be everybody's slave and suffer in silence if there is an issue. No, you certainly do need to speak out and take any necessary action, but action not when you're angry. No. Here the emphasis is to ensure that you give yourself peace and let others have peace. Always remember to do what you can and let others do what they can. I learned this from my husband, because when I start complaining about something, he say, do what you can. And I must tell you that it has helped me to stop complaining, because now I have learned to do just what I can and let others do what they can. So tackle issues that arise in the home, but always remember that certain things get sorted out with time and with patience. So with this, we hope the Living Woman has contributed something to your motherhood and childcare during this period of COVID-19. And woman, you are amazing. Let no one convince you otherwise. The Living Woman, reaching for your greatness. Thank you.